Hey there, it's Dr. Eversull from Handmade Health. Thanks so much for watching and subscribing and sharing. Really appreciate that. Listen, it's January. I have lots of people coming in with New Year's resolutions. Of course, they want to lose weight, they want to keep it off, and just kind of make a change, get healthier. And I wanted to share with you things that I continue to say, like I hear myself saying a lot of these things over and over to my patients to help them prevent regaining weight, help them with their weight loss, and just again, being healthier in the way that they're eating and going through life. So here's about 8 things that are reasons that you might not be losing weight, even though you're trying, or tending to make you yo-yo. So first one is thinking that you're just going to exercise your weight away. This doesn't work. You almost can't exercise enough by itself, just alone, to burn enough calories to have a really significant weight loss. In fact, if you're trying to exercise too hard and it's causing you stress, it's causing you pain, you feel kind of beat up, you're getting injured, those kinds of things, that's telling you that it's stressing your body, and likely your stress hormone is going up that would, to a degree that it will counteract your efforts to try to exercise away weight. So the ratio that I tend to tell people is about 90-10. Okay, so it's about 90% what you eat and maybe 10% what you do. Okay, so if you just had to pick, you would choose to manipulate your food versus to just exercise. Now, exercise is fabulous for a whole different sorts of reasons. It's fabulous for your brain. It does a lot of things for the rest of your health. But just in terms of weight loss, little goes a long way. So if you're walking a couple of miles 3 or 4 times a week, whatever's comfortable and also whatever's fun, so that you'll keep doing it and you won't dread it. So walking with a friend, putting your headphones on, walking outside. If you like getting on the Stairmaster and watching whatever show that you like, if there's a class you like, any of that, go for it, because you want something that you're going to continue to want to do. And then rotating that if you can. So, but don't put the emphasis on that. So that's big. The second thing is eating too frequently. So I kind of came up and became an adult in the 90s, and that's right when they told you to eat frequently throughout the day to keep your metabolism up. And that's when high carbs and everything were a big deal. But it's really opposite of that. People are figuring out. So if you can, first thing, take away snacks. Okay, so if you just eat 3 meals a day, 3 times a day, and you eat to satisfaction where, goodness, I'm done, like that last bite of scrambled eggs, and you're just done, and then you're not hungry for a long time, 6 hours, whatever it is. That's what you want to think about. Kind of get to that, not where you're crazy and you have to unzip your pants and all that. Don't do that. But take away the snacks first, and then what you can do is try to scoot 2 of your meals sort of together. So if it's breakfast and lunch, and make a brunch, or if it's a late lunch into sort of an early dinner, you can go to 2 meals. And the point is that you want to go as long as you can during the day where your blood sugar is low, not crazy, and especially if you're not in ketosis and your blood sugar is bombing and you feel shaky. But you want to go where you're comfortable and it's a short window in the day that you're actually eating. Okay, so if that's 6 hours, sometimes 4 hours, sometimes 8 hours, sometimes, vary it a little bit, that's fine, but that will go a very long way to just help you right there. I actually had a lady come in that had been really kind of struggling. She was trying not to eat much, the whole thing. Well, she ended up going to the hospital for a little bit of time, and what she did was she said, look, I ate more calories, I know that I did, but I still lost weight. And so we talked a little bit, and I said, well, did you have any snacks, or did you only eat the meals? And she's like, well, come to think of it, I only ate the meals. Well, that's an example right there that she was eating less frequently, even though she actually was eating a little bit more food. So that's just a thought, is to do that. Now, what makes that easier is if you have lowered your carbohydrate level and you're not raising that blood sugar up and down again and again, and then you feel that twitchy, shaky feeling in between meals. So if you can lower your carbohydrate intake to a certain degree, you might want to download like MyFitnessPal or one of the apps where you can track just a little bit. Don't get crazy hung up on things, but where you can track and you can see exactly how many carbohydrates that you're eating. Sometimes people are eating 500 carbohydrates a day, 450, and they're a little shocked to know that they are. Like, no, that's not me. Well, yeah, it is. And so if you were even to lower that to less than 100, that's relatively low. And especially if those carbohydrates are really slow carbohydrates with extra fiber and they come from a lot of plants and so forth, then you're in a really good position to be able to go for longer periods of time in between those meals. So those are just some quick little things that you kind of get tricked into and you get bad information and so forth. So think of that. The other sort of simple things are not getting enough sleep. I very commonly tell people, my patients, that you can better sleep your weight away than to exercise your weight away. And no one wants to believe that at first, but then they finally do. So when you sleep, your cortisol, your stress hormone is low, your melatonin is high. Okay, so that's a longer period of that low stress. But also your growth hormone is made when you sleep, and that's very good for keeping the muscle and having lower fat and so forth. So a lot of people that come in have low growth hormone, and that's one of the reasons, not just age, but the lack of quality sleep. So note that. And so getting approximately maybe even 9 hours sometimes in the winter like it is now can be really helpful. So think of when the sun goes down, you should start thinking about going to bed, and then when the sun comes up, start thinking about getting up. So that extra time, if you can, will be nothing but good in terms of your ability to lose weight and feel good and so forth. So another one that is really important is just thinking, hey, I'm just going to use my willpower. I'm just going to eat 500 calories, 600 calories, whatever your particular plan is, and that I'm just going to muscle through this. I'm just going to power through this, and that's that. It doesn't work that way. Your physiology is smarter than that. Plus, it's also super uncomfortable to do. So if you're doing something that is not sustainable, which just eating 500 random calories is not sustainable, okay? You're going to starve, and physiology is going to take over, and your backside's going to be sticking out of the refrigerator at midnight. So we don't want to do that. You want to try to make a change and do something that you can do forever. And so sometimes that's not super fun to think about, because you want to be able to party and eat all the tortilla chips and wine that you want, but that's not realistic. That can be a punctuation, like a holiday event. Yes, cool, we'll go for it. But otherwise, for the daily, you want to stick to the plan that you can and that you can maintain and do it somewhat comfortably. And so don't just think you're going to power through it. It never works. And then you feel kind of like a failure, like, well, why is everybody else able to get to their goals and I'm not? And it's not that. You have to have something that's your jam and is maintainable. And so if you have trouble figuring out what that is, what's going to work for you, then come see me or somebody like me, and we can kind of help make a little program for you with your particular macros and so forth. So another thing is just on the lines of what I was just talking about, is thinking that you can do something for a really short time and then you're going to go back to the way you were, and then everything's going to be fine and your weight's going to stay off. again, that's kind of a theme of what I was saying just a minute ago. You have to make a change that is your optimal sort of program eating plan, not like, hey, every 3 or 4 months I've gotten really bigger and I'm going to do this little thing, and then you're going to kind of yo-yo a bit too much on that. Do something that's more sustainable throughout, and then alternatively, like I said, you'll have those little holidays where you kind of plan for that event or that thing. I'm going to let it go, and then I'm right back onto where I was. So that's a big one. Another thing that people do a little bit, more than is good, is they'll eat packaged food like a lot of Atkins bars or the diet candies or those kinds of things. And really, for the long haul, that's not a good strategy to just lose weight. Your body's smarter than that. It knows it's junk, and it's not probably the best. If you can get yourself to where you're more comfortable with a whole foods diet, highly plant-based, but maybe not all. So having some really good quality, eggs, fish, a little bit of red meat, whatever it is that you like, punctuating with that, but then having primarily whole foods. It's hard to go wrong with that. You're going to have a high nutrient dense diet. It's going to be pretty satisfying, and then you're good to go. So not really relying on all those little packaged kind of candies and things. Maybe every now and then, if that's your thing, but not as a whole. Biggie, this is a real biggie, is again in the 90s, like I said, we were kind of told at that point, fat's bad, take the fat out, terrible, etc. And therefore, what they did when we got rid of the fat, or they took fat out of cookies or whatever it is, they put more and more and more sugar. Well, as it turns out, that's exactly opposite of what's going to be helpful. So when people come in and they've been eating low fat for a long time, I have so much work to do with them to try to get them back into a healthy physiology and a healthy metabolism. It's really hard. So fat is very satisfying. Our brains need fat. We need fat for so many metabolic reasons. So, and plus we need it because it helps with stabilizing blood sugar rather than just eating glucose all the time and you bouncing that blood sugar back and forth. So definitely a prolonged, very low-fat diet is the opposite way to go. You never feel full. You're going to end up eating sugar and carbs and shooting yourself in the foot. So I have to unwind this mentality a lot even now. So that's it. The other big thing that you might want to think about is the effects of toxins. And if you haven't made a little bit of an effort to do some, I don't love this word, but cleanses or fast or some little supplements, sauna, colonic, any of those kinds of things to help detox your body isn't stupid, like I always say. And so what it'll do is, once you have such a toxic effect, a toxic hit from multiple reasons, your body almost likes to just put the toxins in fat cells because that's away from your brain, your liver, all the vital organs. And it's almost like putting it in that hall closet that you don't want to talk about, kind of thing. So when you start to mobilize fat stores and release fat from those fat cells, toxins will come with it. And so you have to, if they don't get excreted from your body or leave your body, they will be recirculated and they will look for a home again. And your body goes, well, it worked the first time I put them in the fat cells. Let's make more fat and put them in the fat cells. And so that's a reason for kind of never getting that weight to fully go, and you want to rebound. But also you can feel a little your health can take a hit, can take a dive with the mobilization of all those toxins if it doesn't have an avenue for escape. So those are things that we're really, really good at to help you with that and then get you on your way to, it's almost like sometimes we'll detox people and the weight just falls away. They're not even really trying to, because their metabolism is increased, their liver works better, their mitochondria, which are the energy generators in the cell, they work better, and there you go, they lose 30 pounds. And so it's really, really incredible and important to think of that. So those are some biggies. I think it's roughly about 8 things that I want you to know as you start maybe a new program or a new year. And I'll put some more things up as they sort of come to me and as we talk, with the patients. But hope this was helpful to you. I really enjoyed making it. I want you to subscribe. Please share this if there's someone that you think might be helped with it. And we'll see you in the next video. And have a good start to your new year. Bye.